Mama, you taught me to do the right things, so now you have to let your baby fly. You've given me everything that I will need to make it through this crazy thing called life. And I know you watched me grow up and only want what's best for me, and I think
bride to be married?
Her mother and I.
All right, boy.
On behalf of Zach and Conan and their families, I would like to welcome you to the celebration of their wedding. And it's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful setting. Brother Randall, if I could get you to pray for us.
Most gracious Lord, we come to you praise and thanking you for your goodness and thank you for this beautiful day and for this beautiful weather we are having, Lord, to come together with family and friends to fellowship and to celebrate the beginning of this life together for this young couple. And Lord, we just ask your rich blessings upon them, and Lord, give them the wisdom to ask daily for forgiveness of their sins and to ask and praise you for your blessings that you give them, and the grace that they have, and Lord, just help them, Lord. All marriages is going to have some bumps, little trouble spots come, and Lord, we just pray that you will bless them to be slow to anger and quick to forgive, and just ask for your guidance and direction in making their decisions as they go along. We ask your blessings on them to have a long, happy, successful Christian marriage, and until death does them part, many, 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 many years down the road, Lord. And we ask all these blessings in Jesus' name.
Amen. You may be seated. It's not y'all's turn to talk. So here we are. Here we are. We get married. You love each other?
I do.
It's good. Works better. People don't want to hear a preacher talk at a wedding. They want to get to the festivities, so they'll just say a few words. But I will tell you this, Conan and Zach. If you don't have love in your relationship, it won't work. But if you've got love, we're going to talk a little bit about love. Ain't nothing in the world could ever stop you from being all you need to be. I promise you. It's the one essential, the one thing without which no marriage has ever worked. Never worked. Not since we've been doing these things. Love's what brought you together, right? And love's what brought you to here. And it's love that'll keep you together all the way through the rest of your life. So in 50, 60, 70 years from now, when y'all are old and decrepit, and sitting on your front porch and watching all your grandkids and your great-grandkids, you'll look back on this day and you'll say, hey, it was good, and we'd do it all over again the same way. That's what you want, ain't it?
That's right.
That's what you want. If I ask everybody in this group of people that are here today to define love, we'd get as many definitions as there are people in this group, I promise you. And they'd probably all be right to a certain extent, but I think they'd all be wrong to a certain extent too, because most of them would dwell on the emotional aspect of love. And that's true, that's a part of it. You can't get along. It's always better when it feels good, right? But sometimes it's just not going to feel good. So let me read a Bible verse to you. It kind of gives you an idea of what love really is. Okay? It comes from a preacher named Paul, and he's writing to a group of Christians in the city called Corinth. And they really don't like him, even though he's responsible for their spiritual welfare. He's writing them a letter, and he's had to correct them a little bit. He's had to get on to them a little bit. And they don't like him much at all. But listen to what he says. He says, I will gladly spend myself and all that I have for you. And even though I love you, it seems like you love me less. Now, love is just as simple as this. It's the willingness, more than just the desire or the wish. It's the willingness on both of your parts to give yourselves for each other's spiritual, physical, and personal growth. It's as simple as that. That's love. Now, it is better, Zach, when it feels good. When you got that warm fuzzy in your heart and your heart beats and goes, Conan, Conan. It's better that way. But it's not always going to be that way. There's going to be a time when the shine's going to wear off, I promise you. And as lovely as she is today and as handsome as he is today, y'all wake up one morning and his breath's going to melt your face right off your head. And you're going to think, oh, Lord, what have I got myself into? And it's going to be a matter of will at that point for you to love him. His feet might not smell good all the time. And she might not be as sweet and loving a personality as she's always been.
Yes, I will.
And you will have to make up your mind to love her. The shine's going to wear off. Like Brother Randall prayed, the troubles are going to come. But love's what's going to get you through that thing. The will to do for the other person and expend yourself, give just whatever it takes to make it work. It's more than 50-50. It's 100% commitment on both your parts. Because, Zach, there's going to be times in your relationship with Conan throughout your life when she's not going to be able to do her part. Maybe she just won't want to do her part that particular day. And if you're only giving 50% to this thing, it's going to fall. But if you're willing to give 100%, it'll work. And Conan, there's going to be days when Zach's dealt with 7th grade kids all day. And he comes home and he's not willing to do his part. He just wants to rest. That's when it's up to you to give 100%. You got to give 100%, both of you, all the time. It's a matter of the will more than it is the emotions, I promise. You ask anybody in here who's been married for any length of time, the shine wears off. That's when it gets down to where you find out if you really love them or not. I think you do, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So if we know what love is, let's see what it looks like. Okay? You ready for this? You ready for this? The Bible says love is patient.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you. It says it right there. Love is patient.
I'm patient.
And love is kind. Love is not jealous, not boastful, not proud, not rude. And after you've been married for 10 or 15 years, you're going to have to remember that. I promise you. Listen to this. And out of all this that I'm going to read here, if you could just take this one sentence, it would sum it all up. It says, love does not demand its own way. Boy, you get to where you just give and give and give and give and expend yourself. Even if it doesn't get returned, it does not demand its own way. It gets its own way sometimes, but it doesn't demand it. It's not irritable. I've seen you in the gym. I know how you can be. You'll have a 12-year-old one day. Love is not irritable. Got it? Now listen to this, both of you. It keeps no record of being wronged. Because you're going to do things that hurt each other, eventually. And the temptation is going to be to hold on to that thing. You'll forgive it, but you won't forget it. You'll hold it in your back pocket. For years, you're going to do the same thing again, and you're just going to pull it out and say, see, you did it again. The Bible says love keeps no record of wrongs. You let it go. You start over fresh every day. It says it does not rejoice. Love does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? If you got that. And that is if somebody can look at you two, Zach and Conan, and say, that's a good description of what love is, you'll be fine. You give each other everything you got. Expend yourself for each other. You don't get jealous. You don't get rude. You never demand your own way. You never keep a record of wrongs. You'll be fine. Now, how important is it? The Bible also says this. Listen to what it says. It says, if I could speak all the languages of the earth and of the angels, but didn't love others, I would be only a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. You know what that tells me? It don't matter what you say. It's what you do that counts. If I could speak all the languages of the earth, and even the languages of angels, but didn't have love, it would be nothing. Just be noise. If I had the gift of prophecy and I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. Doesn't matter how gifted you are. And both of you are very gifted in different areas. But all that for nothing if you're not loving each other. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it, but if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Doesn't even really matter the type of presents and things you give each other. It's what you do. Forrest Gump said it, stupid is as stupid does, right? Well, we could paraphrase that and say it like this and be perfectly scriptural. Love is as love does. It's not what you say. It's not how gifted you are. It's not even the presents you give each other. It's what you do that counts. So make it an action word. Love each other. Love each other. And so, Zach, let me ask you this. Do you love Conan?
I do.
Do you take her as your wife?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to her for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, in poverty as well as in wealth, in the good times as well as the bad, and do you commit to be true and faithful to her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Conan, do you love Zach?
I do.
Do you take him as your husband?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to him for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, in poverty as in wealth, in the good times as well as the bad, and do you commit to be true and faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
There you go. Hand her your bouquet, would you please? I have one. You take that one. Well, you don't do anything with me. Okay. Ever since people been getting married, most folks in most cultures exchange rings. And there's a reason for that, because they're so symbolic. They're at least in three ways that I can think of. One, the ring is in the shape of a ring. It's a never-ending circle. And that, ladies and gentlemen, signifies an unending nature of the vows that these two young people take here today. They'll never end. They're recorded in heaven as well as in the parish courthouse. It's a serious deal. Now, they're made out of precious metals, and that tells us how precious the love is between these two people. And in the case of Conan's ring, it's topped with a diamond. And I think that's symbolic in the sense that it's one of the most beautiful stones that God ever created, and at the same time, it's one of the most durable things that God ever created. And so the love that they have is both beautiful and durable. And that's why we exchange rings. And so, Zach, if you would put that ring on the third finger of Conan's left hand. And then Conan, if you would take Zach's ring and put it on the third finger of his left hand.
Tight fit.
And look at each other and repeat these words after me. I promise you a love that's true.
I promise you a love that's true.
Forever and a day.
Forever and a day.
I promise you a hand to hold.
I promise you a hand to hold.
Each step along the way.
Each step along the way.
I promise to make time for us.
I promise to make time for us.
To dream and do and dare.
To dream and do and dare.
To never take for granted.
To never take for granted.
All the ways you show you care.
All the ways you show you care.
I promise you a friendship.
I promise you a friendship.
I'm going to say that again. I promise you a friendship.
I promise you a friendship
that grows deeper through the years.
that grows deeper through the years.
I promise to be gentle.
I
promise to be gentle
With your hopes, your joys, your fears.
with your hopes, your joys, your fears.
I promise you with all my heart.
I promise you with all my heart,
With every day I live.
with every day I live,
To share with you
to share with you
the deepest, truest love
the deepest, truest love
I have to give.
I have to give.
I could say amen to that. Now, if I could get the congregation to focus their attention over here to your right, Conan and Zach, we're going to teach you a little something about marriage in the form of an object lesson. the rose plant,
You gonna do the water?
and each of them are going to add an individual element to this plant. Just like each of them brings an individual element and personality into this relationship. They're going to take this plant back to their new home, and they're going to plant it in a place in their yard. Having both contributed individual parts to the life of this plant, they're going to work together as a team throughout the years to make sure that this plant's life is maintained. And if you would permit me, the plant is like the marriage of these two young people right here, each one of them bringing an individual aspect to the relationship, and both of them working together as a team for the rest of their life to make sure that the marriage is not only good, but it just stays good. You willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
I think you are. Would you pray with me? Our Father in heaven, you ordained marriage. You performed the first wedding ceremony, many, many years ago in a garden called Eden. And here we are today in a garden, and it's not Eden, but it's a pretty special place. And you're bringing together, you have brought together, Zach and Conan, and they've committed themselves to each other and to you for the rest of their lives. Not only are these two individuals being joined together, but two families are being joined together, and I pray that up in heaven, Father, you are smiling on this occasion. I believe you are. And I pray, Father, that you'd bless Zach and Conan and their families as they go through the years together, and they go closer and closer and closer together, and their love gets deeper and deeper and stronger. And Father, years from now, when they're older, they'll look back and they'll say, we did the best we could. We did it the right way. And if we had it to do all over again, we'd do it the same way. Help them to have no regrets. And you just bless them in every way you possibly can. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Would you get your bouquet, please? Now I got to share this. Before the ceremony, somebody told Zach, when you kiss your bride, make it a good one. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Zach said, we practiced that. So you may kiss your bride. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, I pronounce you husband and wife.
Hey, how y'all? Now where we go to?
Just over here.
I didn't know if he was going to stop talking or what. You look gorgeous, baby.
Thank you. I wiped my makeup off and I had to start all over.
Why?
I didn't like how she did it. So we'll just wait right here, I guess.
Do they need to?
We'll just wait right here, I guess, to take pictures.
Hey, she said we could dance over
What were y'all laughing at?
This one's over with.
Thank you.
I had so much to reflect on. I could have did the best man speech right there in the ceremony.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
You done for now.
I know it.
You better just remember all those words. They wasn't right. No, they always.
Thank you, bud. Thank you. Well, how was it? Y'all didn't pass out up there, huh? My knees were starting to get buckly.
Now they're fighting with their son.
I forgot my mic's still on.
Really? Give it right here.
Good, baby.
The mic's still on.
Oh, I think you got it right. I think you got it right. You better give that up. Hey, you better give that to Miss Becky right now.
I can't.
That microphone.
Yeah, he's hearing everything.
Disappointment haunted all my dreams. And then I saw her face. I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. The more I gave, the less I got. Oh yeah. What's the use of trying? All you get is pain. When I wanted sunshine, I got rain. And then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. What's the use of trying? All you get is pain. When I wanted sunshine, I got rain. And then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. Now I'm a believer, yeah, yeah, yeah.
For the second time this evening, to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Zach Reader.
Just like every lock, got to have a key. Every room closed, you can only see it when you pass it. Breezes fill the sky, it's just the way it is. Nobody knows why they call it to go. You know that it ain't much good out there. We were meant to be together, no doubt about it. I could have a bad day, socks and shoes. We go hand in hand like a roll of blues. Good nights for me. Hasn't got a dream about his blues and car. Lord, got you leading you the one I'm dreaming of. Got to have me looking at you without it. We were meant to be together, no doubt about it. No, there ain't no doubt about it. Something must be said, what's making you
so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about